Because remember, even though I tend to, on the podcast, focus on federal opportunities, state's a real thing. I'm going to repeat that. State is a real thing. State and local contracts and opportunities are available. But what that does is that helps you not only stay abreast with what's going on in the agency, but it also allows you to continue to reach out to the right people in the agency and develop a rapport. Searching with Google allows you the upper hand when most are kind of trying to figure out sticking spaghetti to the wall, something like that. I think my win streak on these quotes is kind of tanking a little bit, but you know what I'm trying to say. Welcome back, Bomu Besties, to another episode of She Built Success. I am your host, Claudia, and I'm excited for this one because y'all, you know how we talk about Google everything? I got you. We're going to do Google for government contracting. So go ahead, push play. Let's get started. All right, so we all know that Google is like a resource of just about everything. They introduced Gemini that has its own AI and da-da-da, right? What I want to talk about is how you can leverage Google for government contracts. All right, so stick with me, Bomu Bestie, because I got you. There are a few key search terms that you could put inside of Google that will allow you to find not only opportunities, but forecasts and the like. So I'm going to give you, I jotted down a couple of them because I was testing. I jotted a couple of them down and I want to share them with you because they're game changers. So let's say you've already identified your agencies that you're looking to do potential business with, right? I want you to go into Google. I'm going to just right off the break give you one and then I'm going to go back to the top of my notes. I want you to go into Google and type in the agency's name. So for instance, if it is Department of State Department of State, you put Department of State and then you would type right after that, active contract list. And you should see, I mean, you'll see a few other links, but you should be able to click and see what the active contracts are for that agency, okay? So I just use Department of State as an example, but you pick the department or the agency that you're looking for and type that out in Google. That'll give you a list of their active contracts, okay? All right, so let me hit back up the top of my notes. I know some of y'all are like in and out, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and you want to hear something up at the top, so there you go. But for those of you that stuck around, I got you covered. Before I keep going, if you are watching here on YouTube and you have not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button. I got you covered. And if you are listening on your audio podcast platform of choice, you too can leave a review and hit the subscribe button so you do not miss a single episode. All right, let's jump back into it. So I want to talk about how searching with Google allows you the upper hand when most are kind of trying to figure out sticking spaghetti to the wall, something like that. I think my win streak on these quotes is kind of tanking a little bit, but you know what I'm trying to say. They're trying to do all the things and nothing's working. So I'm going to set you up for success here in Google. So I will be providing a more advanced cheat sheet. I put that in air quotes for those of you that are still listening, but I put an advanced cheat sheet with different types of text that you can put inside of Google to get you more specific results. But for the purposes of this actual conversation that we're having, I'm going to keep walking through some of the terms and words that you can put inside of Google to get you results today. Okay. All right. So one of them is, so we talked about your agency, you're going to put active contract list. The next one is if you type in small business scorecard, then the agency's name, it should take you to, or not take you to, but you'll see a link that points you right to that agency's scorecard. Now, I will preface it with this. Those scorecards are based on fiscal year, not calendar year. So if we are in, for example, 2025 fiscal year, which we are, then that would mean that you need to look for probably FY, which is fiscal year 2024. It's typically, I mean, it depends when they go update it, but typically late October-ish, it should be available for the fiscal year. So get the scorecard, check the agency's grade. They do A+ all the way down to not A+. So your team struggle bus beyond that. But you can see what your agency that you're looking at scorecard letter grade is. It's like a report card. Okay, so the other item that you could put into the Google search is looking for the policies of an agency. And here's how you do it. Small business policy guide, and then you follow that up with the agency name. Okay, so small business policy guide, and then the agency's name. All right, so I gave you hopefully some chunky, juicy, good keywords to start looking for: government contracts. Now, here's a way that you can like take it to that next level. When you go into Google, there's this thing called Google Alerts. So you have your agencies identified, your top 3 for the quarter, and now you're looking to get notified of what is going on within that agency. So you could set up Google Alerts, and you could set it up for Department of Education, Department of Commerce, Department of Treasury, and you'll get, and there's some narrowing down, like you want to stick to United States and things like that. Otherwise, you're going to get global type information. And it'll allow you to kind of keep tabs, if you will, if you're looking at specific agencies, or even if you know the actual program office name, and there might be press releases that come out. But if you turn on Google Alerts, you can get it delivered to your email inbox immediate. Well, I guess you could set up the cadence. Like for me, I have mine sent to me like at 7 a.m. every morning, so that by the time I'm up, I can just run through and see what's going on. But what that does is that helps you not only stay abreast of what's going on in the agency, but it also allows you to continue to reach out to the right people in the agency and develop a rapport, because you're staying on top of the events that are happening within their organization that obviously is public knowledge, because it's out there on the interwebs. So set up that Google Alert. All right, here goes another tip, because I was excited about this one. So some of you may know, but if you don't, Google also has this thing called Google Scholar that allows you to look at like white papers and articles. So if you go and you could just in Google, you type Google Scholar, I believe the subdomain is scholar.google.com, but don't quote me on that URL. But nevertheless, Google Scholar allows you to look up the different white papers and trends that agencies care about. So let's say you are with Department of Energy, and you are looking, or you're interested in Department of Energy, and you kind of want to see, well, what's going on? What's the latest? You can use Google Scholar to type in things like whatever your lane is, but it's like energy efficiency, energy alternatives, and see what white papers are being written and read and understand. And that might help you to better position your business to strategically align to the goals of Department of Energy. All right, last one. This one is if you are looking to do like more face-to-face or in-person networking locally, and this can go both for state, and for federal. If you go to Google Maps, yes, believe it or not, Google Maps, and you type in like the agency name. So let's say, let me think of another agency, Commerce. Let's go DOI, Department of Interior. Okay. So let's say you put in the Department of Interior and you are located, now I'm totally making this up, but let's say you're located in Arizona, and maybe the DOI has a satellite office out there, but they do have networking events. Like that allows you to see, okay, what agencies are near me, or what branches, or I shouldn't say branches because that kind of ties into government, but what satellite type locations are near me that I could leverage and attend those events. So keep that in mind. You do not have to be in the DC metro area to attend networking events that are put on by other agencies. Other agencies do have other offices, branches, or divisions throughout the United States. So if you go on Google Maps and type in that agency's name, or even if it's a local component of like HHS, Health and Human Services. You may have like the state, all states, but have a state level of that. Then you could type that in and see what events you could potentially attend. Because remember, even though I tend to, on the podcast, focus on federal opportunities, state's a real thing. I'm going to repeat that. State is a real thing. State and local contracts and opportunities are available. So even if you're a little bit timid to start in federal because you might feel a bit overwhelmed, look at your state, understand what they need and their needs are, because there's a lot of, you have a Health and Human Services in the federal space, but then you also have the state version. There may be an opportunity for you there to get your feet wet in government contracting and to get started so that you can build your past performance, even at the state level. So don't sleep on it. All right, Bold Move Besties. So your homework right now is to set up 3 Google Alerts. That is 3 Google Alerts for the 3 agencies that you're targeting for the quarter. Drop in the comments below which agency you're looking at and why. I'd love to just, get a little peek inside of what you're thinking to continue to grow your business in federal government contracting. So until next time, Bold Move Besties, I will catch you on the next episode of She Built Success. What's up, Bold Move Besties? Guess what I'm offering? Government contract coaching for small businesses. It is your opportunity to get the real, the relevant, and the way to do government contracting correctly with the federal, local, and state government. Inside, you will get details on how to start in government contracting, all the way through winning your first contract, which is, by the way, not guaranteed, but we're trying to get you there. So if you're interested, please sign up in the link below, and I will catch you in the next cohort. Go ahead and apply today. Visit readyswipegov.com to get started.